Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
Instagram, it's Pat and JT. If you follow us on Instagram and you saw our story, which has been on Tuesday, and we'll probably put it up as a post so it sticks around. So if you're hearing this in June, you can go back and look at it. We have staff Pat and JT show meetings every week. And Reagan, who's our producer, basically, kind of caught her in an odd situation as she's trying to get her computer to work. And of course, I go camera off, but then I grab my phone and record it because you and Andrea and Reagan were doing all these weird, goofy things, like trying to get the computer to work. And she zoomed in like fisheye. It's hilarious. The video's funny. The picture's funny. Good. I love Reagan. And so we edited like a minute and a half out of this podcast because we were having some technical issues. But I don't think it's a coincidence that on the episode like today, we have some electronic issues with our show. Maybe it's because of our guest we're having. I
think so. I think that might be what the problem is. So we might as well just face it and bring him in.
I mean,
hi guys.
Psychic Andy Myers messing stuff up from the green room.
I brought the spirits with me today, huh?
It's weird. My hair is going absolutely crazy too. It's in my eyeballs. Hold on. We're trying to do this on a call, so
yeah.
Hold on.
I know. I have that problem all the time. I wake up in the morning, my hair's in my eyes. You know, the other day I'm sitting here, and I'm obsessed with if I get a little hair on my ear or whatever. Pluck it, pull it. I when you see a dude, because normally girls don't have that. A guy that has just like the knot of hair coming out of his ear or his eyebrows are like all poofy. So I'm over obsessed with making sure that my shit's tight, right? So I'm sitting here the other day working, and I keep seeing this thing out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, I kind of looking to the right. I'm like, what is? Like it's a spider web? No, it's a hair on my eyebrow that's like 1.5 inches long that had been laying down apparently since like 2005, and it just laid up, and it was like sticking out, and I couldn't grab it, and finally I got it. God, that hurt.
Like a dog chasing its tail.
It was. Yes. I kept moving forward, and I couldn't grab it. Kept moving with me. It's so frustrating.
I can just picture Pat spinning in circles.
Like my chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that. No, I'm the same way when my hair. I'm just getting my hair off my face. I hate when it's like you've got one hair, like you were talking about, or it gets in your eyelash, and you're just like, get it off of me. It feels like a cobweb.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to the show, Andy. On the regular.
Glad to be here. Right? And I can relate, not because I have as much hair as you, JT, but some mornings Sky will come climb in bed with me, a couple hours before we have to get up. She'll come snuggle in bed with me, and she has this mane. It's just like this lion's mane of curly hair, like she's Rapunzel. And so she lays down right next to me, and like I have this, basically who's that character who has the hair all over their face? Cousin It. Yeah, I feel like that. And it's just, I'm batting it away. Like I just walked into a spider's web.
Yes.
I don't know if you and Sky, like if she showers or if she's a bath kid or if you're a bath, whatever, if you eventually ever share a shower or bathtub. But probably once a month, I'll be sitting here and I'll have like one of Beth's hairs in my butt. And I'll feel, I'm like, what? And I pull it, it goes zoink, and it's like,
my God.
It's like starting a chainsaw.
Pat, I know a lot of people can't relate to that. I can relate. The same things happened to me before too.
You're like, what the heck is this? And it just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Yeah.
It's like a handkerchief out of a magician's sleeve. I swear to God, it's a real phenomenon.
It is. It legit happens.
Yeah. Good old hair in the butt. Not your own hair either.
Oh my God. I can say.
You probably had that.
Never happened to me.
You have the hair on your head and it's never been in your butt?
I don't ever remember that happening to me. Now, I've had a dog hair end up in my mouth because there's my German Shepherd.
Yeah.
And there's dog hair on everything as far as that goes. But that's just awesome.
Yeah.
And see, who knew where we were going to go? Who knew where the conversation was going to go? We were expecting just to be talking books today with Andy, because we got to say congratulations. Number one best-selling author now. It is official. The book came out officially yesterday.
That's right.
That's huge, buddy. Good job. Congrats.
Thank you. It was really surreal, pour your blood, sweat, and tears, and my heart and soul is in this book, and I've been working on it for 5 years. And the story stems back to not only to my childhood, but to past lifetimes, and it's about how my family and I connected the clues and the pieces to discover that we had in fact shared multiple past lifetimes together, and that those lifetimes overlapped with our current guardian angels. And it's a true story, but it's pretty Looney Tunes in terms of the plot. It's crazier than any fiction story I've ever read. And we lived it, and I wrote it, and it came out yesterday. And by lunchtime, Kenzie calls me, and she's like, congratulations. And, I'm just thinking it's, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah. The book came out today. And she's like, no, you're a #1 best-selling author. I said, shut up. What? It's like, get on Amazon. And I'll never forget, it's one of those moments that
I bet
you'll never forget for the rest of your life. And I'm looking on Amazon, and it says #1 best-selling author. And I just, just happy tears start flooding out. And and then an hour later, and I go over to tell my mom the good news, and, she's crying, and we're hugging, and everyone's, it's pretty surreal. And right around lunchtime, we learned it actually went to #1 in 3 different categories. So,
wow.
So if you're into Native American culture or guardian angels or reincarnation, this book might be up your alley, because those are the 3 categories that it's currently #1 on Amazon. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Congrats.
Wow.
Buddy.
And you guys are in the book many times.
I know, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. I love this.
Why do you think Why do you think it went #1, yo?
That's right.
That's right.
Represent.
It's represent.
Yeah, that's it.
And in all seriousness, guys, this wouldn't have happened without you. And I mean that seriously, because in 2009, I think it was, you first had me on your radio program, and I remember I was sweating through my headphones. I was nervous, and I was just eked my way into the psychic world, and gosh, just had a couple dozen sessions under my belt, and you had me on the show, and it changed my life. It changed my life. All the friends, all the professional opportunities, all the blessings in my life are a direct result from meeting you guys and slowly gaining this larger platform to reach new people. So huge. There's no way I can possibly thank you. You're one of the few people that were acknowledged in the thank you section of my book, and with all my heart, I just wanted to.
Well, you brought a lot to our
know.
show. Like you, I mean, you don't even realize how much you contributed to what we did.
You also, just to say, I think you still would have found your path, and I think that we were blessed to be part of it, because I think that you were going to find this direction no matter what.
For sure.
I don't think that it wouldn't have happened. I'm glad that we were a part of it, though. I'm glad that we got to play a role, though. That's awesome.
It's been a wild ride.
Yes, definitely has. That's fantastic. So just professionally then, Mr. Best-selling author, are you going to be doing any book signings or anything like that anytime soon? Do you have anything that you want to let people know about where they can track you down?
I actually have 2 big events coming up, and they're both free if you buy the book. So on Amazon, if you purchase, my book is actually called The Sky Diaries, A True Story of Reincarnation. And if you buy the Sky Diaries on Amazon, and then email my office proof of your purchase, you can attend one of 2 psychic events that I'm doing. And they're the type of events where I connect with deceased loved ones and relay messages to the audience. So one of those is going to be live in Omaha on January 28th. And the other is going to be on Zoom February 10th for people nationwide. So if you're in LA or New York or Texas and buy the book, you can still participate. Just email my office proof that you bought it. And I actually did a Facebook Live last night, and there were people who had bought it yesterday morning, and by yesterday evening, they were on the last chapter. And it's the book's 382 pages long. Oh my gosh. And they just powered through it. So I hope it's a page turner.
Yeah, that says a lot.
But if you're looking for an emotional roller coaster of laughter and tears and goosebumps and just a really cool, heartfelt story, this might be up your alley.
Are you planning to put out an audiobook too?
I am, and I actually want to do the narration of it. Just need, and maybe I could talk with you guys about this, but I just need to figure out
do
you know some people?
Yeah, we do. We know some people.
Point you in the right direction.
You know a guy who knows a guy?
Yeah, we do.
Maybe we got a guy.
This book is so near and dear to my heart because it's my life story. It's our past life story as well. But I want to do the narration of it A buddy of mine said we should have Morgan Freeman narrate it. as great as that would be,
Yeah.
with his buttery, silky voice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I think
but
I wanna-
it's got to be you.
It's got to be you
Yeah.
because I mean, seriously, to be able to read the book, I love in audiobooks when the author does do it and when they sometimes raise the curtain every once in a while and make comments about a certain chapter or make, or add some embellishments, so to speak. Just kind of freestyle. You're still doing the whole book, but kind of adding a little more flavor, if you will.
Well, and whether I do it in a studio or from my home studio, if I do it at home, if I record the audiobook at home, I guarantee my cat is going to be on my lap the whole time.
Yeah.
So you might hear purring as
Just
the
kind of comes
background.
with it when you work at
The
home.
soundtrack of the book is purring.
Can't think of anything more relaxing though. Is purring.
Oh yeah.
Super
Lull you
relaxing.
to sleep like Morgan Freeman's voice.
There you go. Well, that I think you really should because I think that was part of the charm with you when you were on. People like listening to you talk, and that's why people like coming to your sessions. That's why people like hearing your segments when you're on our show and when you're on the show now. So I would definitely encourage that.
And I'm glad you were on today because I did have a couple questions for you. Some things that have happened this week. And ironically, I say this sentence way too much as an adult man, but I saw a video on TikTok that I wanted to ask you about. But so just in kind of generally speaking, but about a specific thing that happened with Bob Saget passing away, kind of surprisingly to all of us this weekend. So when someone it's not like a hospice situation and they don't know that they're going to die. Like everybody knows they're going to die. It happens so suddenly like this.
Unexpected.
Unexpected. Are there signs that if they knew what the signs were to look for, that they knew that would have been their last day on earth? Like we just don't know what we don't know? Or is it really a surprise to them as well, the actual person that passes away?
The interesting thing that I've heard, and I've heard this from several clients over the years, I'll do a medium session with a wife whose husband suddenly passed away from a heart attack, for example. Nobody saw it coming. But the feedback from the wife oftentimes is she'll tell me that her husband often spoke of the fact that he felt like he wasn't going to live a long lifetime.
Wow.
Like intuitively, he knew his time was limited. Now, and then it becomes a case of the chicken or the egg. Did he intuitively see his own death coming, or did he pass from a heart attack because he was too focused on it and he caused that to be his reality?
That's a good point.
But in most cases, I think though, people don't see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take a poll, you ask people, would you want to know if it was your last day or not? And most people would say no.
Yeah.
No. I would agree with that. What's interesting is just the week before he died, Betty White died, he wrote a post on Instagram and wrote about her passing and how she had looked forward to passing because she would be with her husband who had died in 1980. And that, no matter what, she's looking forward to seeing him again. Not rushing things, obviously, 99, but she was optimistic. And he had written, I don't know what comes next. I'm not sure what happens next. I hope that's the case. That's what she got to be welcomed
That's
by.
eerie.
And isn't it weird? He wrote that post during those 7 days or 6 days, whatever it was, between her passing and his.
Yeah. So he had no idea, but that's the beauty, is whether you're a full on, and this is my opinion, but whether you're a full on believer and you know what to expect in the afterlife, or you're unsure, or you're agnostic, or no matter what, you're crossing over into the same beautiful place to be reunited with your friends and family. And then the curtain is lifted and the amnesia is gone. That's when, you can connect with, not only connect with loved ones that you lost in 1980, but you have access to see all of your previous lifetimes, all the people that you loved and lost and had crazy adventures with in past lifetimes. Can you imagine the welcoming party? If you round up all the people that you've impacted and who have had an impact on you in this lifetime, and then multiply that times, times 100. I mean, that's what we're talking of, people who were reunited with over there.
I think in his too, somebody brought up the fact that he and Norm Macdonald were such good friends, and they both passed way too soon, and that they hope that it is the case. And as a matter of fact, I just found his post that he wrote about Betty. And he said, we were on ABC on a junket once for ABC, sitting across from her, both sipping Bloody Marys. We'd been laughing for hours. I looked into her eyes, faux romantically, and said, "How about it, Betty? You and me in the bathroom." And she answered before I had a chance to finish, "Of course, Bob, you go in first. I'll meet you as soon as I finish my drink." He said, "Then I waited in the bathroom for 2 hours." Anyway, he goes on to say she always said the love of her life was her husband, Alan, that she lost in 1981. Well, if things work out by Betty's design, in the afterlife, they are reunited. I don't know what happens when we die, but if Betty says you get to be with the love of your life, I'll happily defer to Betty.
Wow.
So that was how he finished it.
That is eerie.
That is something.
Yeah.
Yes. That is something. Wow. And you're right that I've seen some posts that almost, like give me chills, almost make me tear up a little bit when you see the ones like the Rainbow Bridge, that if all your animals are going to be running towards you when and it's like, oh my God, I hope I have something
lint
I
roller.
can stand on. All right. A lint roller too. Yeah.
Lint roller.
Maybe in heaven you don't need one. I don't know.
Probably
I hope
not.
it's heaven. But yeah, if you have to
I hope
decide
it's
between-
heaven. What?
What I'm meaning
for
is
you.
heaven
I'm like, what?
or because the Rainbow Bridge and heaven. I mean, they're
Right.
both
Okay.
in the same
I just thought you were
place.
judging some past decisions there for a
Oh, dear
second.
God. No.
But it's true. When we cross over, we think that the first people to greet us are, our parents and grandparents who passed before us. But the reality is it's all the pets that we've lost. They're the ones that come running and jumping and flying and swimming towards us.
Of
and
course.
a lint roller, you're going to need a lint roller the size of a cement mixer with that many animals.
Yeah, no kidding, you
Oh
are.
my God.
So
That's okay though.
That video that I saw on TikTok, quick, it's a brief thing, but it's kind of plays into the same kind of topic. And I don't even know how I got onto this lady's page, but it was she's a hospice nurse, and she was sitting in her car and she was just talking about. She was, I want to tell you guys a story about something that happened to me last week. She started, very emotional. And they had been with a young guy in hospice at his house, mid-30s. And she didn't say what he was passing away from, but it was kind of sudden. But they were able to keep him comfortable during hospice and talk to him and help him transition. But he was at the point where it was I don't know what the stage is, but it was like the last 24 to 48 hours, they have somebody with the person all the time. It's their end stage or their death, whatever. So somebody came in to kind of take over for her for a half hour or so she can go get some lunch or do whatever. And he was he was not talking. He was out, very close to death. Yeah, unresponsive. And so she's sitting in her car and just talking about, what happened is that when she went out to her car, when this nurse came in to kind of spell her, she said, I just started sitting in my car and I started crying and I heard his voice in my head. She goes, he hasn't talked to me in days. And I heard his voice in my head said my name. And it's beautiful. I can't believe I was scared. This is absolutely incredible. I wish I had known it was going to be like this because I would have wanted to pass away days before. It's incredible. She started sobbing. And at that time, he wasn't, they weren't thinking he was going to die for a while, and went back inside and he had passed away. Right when she left to go out to her car, he had died. So to think that gives me goosebumps now just talking about it, but that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is, and it's proof that particular nurse must have some intuitive abilities. We all do, actually. We all have the ability, if the wind blows just right, sometimes we're able to get on the frequency to either connect with somebody who's unconscious, or to speak with a deceased loved one, or to hear a guardian angel, or to get a glimpse into the future. This is how intuition works. It can't be fully explained, but at the same time, we can't deny it because it happens to people of all walks of life at some point in time. And it is beautiful. In fact, it's so beautiful that people, who have near-death experiences and live to tell about it, oftentimes it's followed by a little funk or a slight depression. To see how beautiful, to feel how beautiful the afterlife really is, and then to come back here to this scary, uncertain world. It's like glimpsing Disney World for the first time and then being forced to go back and live in the ghetto.
Right.
And not that life is terrible all the time, but nothing here compares to the other side. And I'm speaking from experience because in 2006, that's what led me down the path to become a psychic medium. I had my own near-death experience. I almost crossed over. I chose to stay because I was speaking to a higher power at the time of this experience, and I I said that my time wasn't quite up. There was something big that I had to do. There was a lot of people I had to help, and I just needed more time. And so, here I am all these years later. And yeah, I went through a slight funk or depression in the fall of 2006 after that happened. Not because I was sad that it happened, but because, gosh, after you see something so beautiful,
Yeah.
it's hard to compare that to anything else.
Have you ever seen that movie, Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal movie.
That changed me. That movie, I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? When I saw it, I found it by accident, and and when I watched it, it will never leave my mind. And it was like from the 80s?
Oh yeah, or
98.
late 90s. It was such a great movie.
Yeah, bring a box of tissues, right?
Yeah, and it's along the same thing. That's the thing. I was talking about that. And then let me ask you too. Numbers wise, yesterday was an interesting day because it was 1/11/22.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people making mention that on social media, and how, this is one of those days to kind of open your mind up and put your intentions out there, and that something about portals and all this other good stuff. And I'm like, I'm in. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Strap on your tinfoil hat and jump in.
Let's do it. Let's do it. If there's a portal, somebody's listening. I'm going to throw it out there, and hopefully the angels are listening and my guardian angels are paying attention. Here's what we're going to do in 22. This is it.
People love number synchronicities, that. So anybody listening can probably relate to this. Have you ever had a day where you notice every time you look at the clock, it's 11:11 or 2:22 or 3:33?
Yes. All the time.
People love these number synchronicities, but everyone always asks the same question: what does it mean? Like, what does it all mean?
Yes.
Usually, it's a wink from your guardian angels. It's a hello and an I love you from your loved ones in the afterlife.
I like that.
And obviously they don't cause the time to be that time. It's going to be 11:11 twice a day, whether you realize it or not. Once in the morning and once at night. But once the spirit world finds out that we get a kick out of seeing certain number synchronicities, they cause us to turn our head a certain way, to look at the clock at a particular time. It's just a spirit nudge, as my friend Brandon calls it.
That's an interesting way to put it. I like that, because it's probably like, for some people, like you hear people talk about it, I always see a butterfly, or I keep seeing pennies, or I keep seeing a red cardinal, or things like that. And you probably notice them more. By the same token, you buy a new car, that's the only car you see on the roads, because everybody else has the same car you do, because that's what's top of mind, right? But that's an interesting. I like that. I like the idea of that, a spirit nudge. That I'm good with that being the explanation. I'll take that.
There you go. Yeah. And sometimes the spirit world grabs your attention when you pull a long hair out of your butt. You just never know what the sign's going to be.
I knew that was my grandpa. I knew that's what he was doing to me, messing with me.
Maybe that's why that's not how my angels talk to me. That's how your angels talk to you too.
The message got received either way.
What does it mean, Pat? What does it really mean?
Really?
I'll Google it later.
Let's dig deep, Pat.
Yeah, don't dig deep.
Don't dig deep. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my God. All right, Andy, your book. Again, where can they get it? How can they get it? All the good stuff.
My book is called The Sky Diaries, a true story of hold on, it's been a long day.
It's only 9:30.
Dude, I swear I've had like 3 hours of sleep this week.
Oh man. Did you see, speaking of that, I don't know his first name, but his last name's Bennett, the quarterback for Georgia. After winning the national championship, he went on Good Morning America the next morning, hadn't slept. He was nodding off during the interview. He's like, I'm tired. He was so exhausted because he'd been partying all night, rightfully so. And he looks wasted, but he's like, I'm just super tired, Robin. I'm just got to go to sleep. It's been a long day.
It's really interesting when he's at that level, or being on GMA doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter. No, because he just played a game in front of like the whole world.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I wrote the book and I can't remember the title. It's called The Sky Diaries, a true story of reincarnation. You can get it on Amazon, and you can get it in paperback or ebook. But when you get the book, be sure to email my office proof of your purchase, and we'll get you squared away for all those perks and benefits, the free psychic events that you can attend in person or via Zoom. And if you buy more than one copy, let my office know that as well, because if you buy more than one copy, you're entered in a drawing to have a private family session with me. So you get to round up a couple of your closest friends, spend the evening with me, and I'll connect with all the people that you've loved and lost. So I hope the
Wow.
book really resonates with people. You know, if you're into science from the afterlife, synchronicity, miracles, fate, destiny, soulmates, and particularly if you're into proof of reincarnation and guardian angels, the Sky Diaries might be the book for you. It's a true story that's more it's crazier than any fiction book you'll read in quite some time.
And it should be the start of a series because there's still more to come.
Well, I have a friend actually who has connections to Hollywood. And in fact, there's been movies made. Do you guys know the movie The Conjuring?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Conjuring franchise?
One of my favorite series.
Scary.
Yeah. That whole franchise is so good.
Well, I'm friends with the lady who the movie's based on her
No
real life
way.
story. Yeah. It happened in her old farmhouse in Rhode Island, I believe, and of course, you know, some of the details have been embellished because that's what movies do. But yeah, it's based on her story. She has connections in Hollywood, and we were chatting about the book, and you know, I was telling her, you know, I always imagine this being made into a movie, and she was like, "Well, if we can make it a #1 bestseller, we will get it made into a movie, and I know the people to make it happen." So now that it is a #1 bestseller,
let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah,
That's
Kenzie
awesome.
was saying, now we got to round up somebody who's going to play me in the movie, and I'm thinking, who's going to play Sky? Because we have to find the child with the biggest, curliest hair in the world,
Right?
Man,
to play my daughter in the movie. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay. She
Dude, that's
kind of
awesome.
reminds me of just off topic, but remember the little girl that did the Pepsi commercials?
oh yeah,
Whose
totally.
whose little sister was she? Is that not what's his name? He's in several movies too. And she's his little sister. God dang, I can't remember, but yeah, she had all that curly hair.
Super curly hair.
Very
Yeah.
similar. She's too old, but anyway.
Reminds me of that. Do you guys ever seen that Disney movie called Brave with that
Oh, yeah.
Scottish redhead?
Just
and
a
she's
head
just nothing
full of
but
hair.
and curls.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
that movie.
It's pretty much my daughter.
Yeah.
But,
Oh man. Well,
Anyway.
thank you so much for being here again. And of course you're going to be here on the regular every month.
Yep.
So we can get a chance to I found it. Hallie and Jesse. I had to look it up. Jesse Eisenberg's little sister.
oh, gotcha.
The actor. Yeah,
That's
Jesse
right.
Eisenberg's little sister. That's who that is. I had to look it up. Anyway,
It's like an itch she can't not scratch. She's got
gotta
to
scratch it.
She's
It's
got to
my
get it.
itch.
Can't leave it dangling out there.
Guys, thanks for having me on. It's as always, it's been a blast.
You got it. Thanks, Andy.
Love
And,
it.
Appreciate it, buddy. And with the links in the description too for your book. Links right to Amazon to keep you up in that bestseller spot.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
You don't.
we
You don't need. Having Andy on is great. Being an intuitive would be awesome, especially if
Yes.
it came to like investments. I don't know if your spirit.
You've never asked him about that.
Andy, do you ever get like tips from your spirit angels on investments?
Not so much.
Okay.
Not so much.
Different angels?
I did once have lottery numbers. I dreamt of lottery numbers, and I failed to play those numbers the next day, so I'll never remember if they hit or not.
Oh, good. Probably.
Oh,
if they hit.
probably
Oh my
best.
gosh.
Best you don't know for sure.
Okay.
We are fortunate enough to have Centris Federal Credit Union helping us out with Pat and JT's 2 cents worth, getting everybody in gear for 2022. And one of the reminders that they put out, Pat, you've probably seen this too, where they said just to remember to give yourself grace. And this is a perfect day for talking about this, having Andy on, because he talks about the same thing as well, is that when you're trying to do something different and you're trying to create new habits, good habits, if you slip up, don't be hard on yourself.
Right. I mean,
Right?
you do that with if you're trying to change your diet, you have a day where you just go off the wagon. It doesn't mean it's all destroyed. Just get back on it the next day. Same with your money. If you fall off the wagon or
Right.
something happens where you get off track, just jump back on the train. It's not that difficult.
Exactly. It's not all or nothing. And it's about understanding where your finances stand and putting a plan in place and then trying to reach your goals. And all of us are doing the same thing in different ways, but financially, it's just as important as your health. Really, you want to make sure that you take care of yourself, health wise, as well as financially.
Because then if something happens health wise that you need money to pay for, like you need to have that financial stability to be able to get yourself through health situations.
Exactly. So 365 days in the year, 2022, take it easy on yourself. Figure out a plan though. And Centris Federal Credit Union would love to help you. They've got a staff full of experts. So you can just give them a call or jump on their website.
Phone number is 402-334-7000 or the website is centrisfcu.org. I love
Very
giving our
good.
2 cents. It's
Our
super
2
fun.
cents.
It is super fun. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you go buy Andy's book.
Yes.
Click the link in the description of our show. You can also go to our Instagram because we'll throw it up there as well. It's Pat and JT. Thanks for listening.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.